Hey guys, Jim here with Point Blank Armory. Just admiring one of my firearms here. I was just polishing it up and whatnot. But anyway, welcome to the channel. I'm Jim.
And this is Andy.
Welcome, welcome. This is our kind of a trial deal we're doing here, just to kind of get the formatting down. But we thought we'd invite you here and talk to you. Basically, we'll start off with what we're planning to do with the channel. I know we mentioned that, excuse me, in our other video on the Condition 1 gun channel, but we should probably talk about it formally here. And Andy is the main computer guru, as it were, and so he's kind of the hands-on guy when it comes to live syncing and cybering and all that kind of stuff. So
cybering, yeah.
I'll let Andy go ahead and kind of talk a little bit about that.
Well, basically, all we're trying to do is bring in some dual screen video here, since Jim and I do live a little distance away from each other. You know, ultimately, what we're wanting to do is go into a live show format. We've got a couple different things that that we can do, such as bring in Twitter feeds and that sort of thing. So you can see the Twitter and the YouTube channel right now on the screen, and if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, or if you tweet us at the YouTube channel, or I'm sorry, if you tweet us at our Twitter channel, then it'll come up during our live show and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of cool little features that we're going to have, as well as a blog on the website. Some of this stuff is going to take a little bit of time to get working, but ultimately, you know, we want to make it as interactive as possible for the users. So
very good. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but Andy's been doing real well. And I don't know if I mentioned we did buy, in fact, the Point Blank Armory domain name.
Yep.
So again, we're serious about it, and we've got some videos that are up online. They're just waiting to be released yet. We've got a trailer out there for a gun range video that we did the other day. So that'll be airing Friday, but you can see the trailer on that. Mm-hmm. And we've got, I personally have, another 3 or 4 coming between this week and next week, so, which I also talked about on the other channel. But
I've tried to do some videos, but man, I look like a total douchebag trying to do video by myself. This is my first time doing any kind of video stuff, so it's going to take me a little bit of getting used to.
Get used to it, and what you could do, honestly, you could be like Pete from the Armory channel. He wears sunglasses. I think that makes him feel like nobody can see him, you know?
Right, yeah, he's invisible. He's cloaked.
It's a good concept. But in addition to all that, just to kind of give you guys a rundown of what we're talking about, the first 4 videos or so that I have isn't going to be, I don't believe, on any of the topics I'm about to discuss. But again, we've compiled a list of things that we want to talk about and discuss on the channel.
And if you have topics that you want to discuss, then just let us know too, and we can try.
Yeah, that'd be probably a good idea. Yeah. So I'll just run down the quick list of them. We're going to talk about backup guns, and how that relates and fits into what you do on an everyday basis. Concealed carry, like on the campuses, and pistol-free zones. That's kind of a big topic. I'm pretty passionate about that. I think you are,
especially in Michigan right now, with some of the different laws and stuff that are being worked on. You know, between pistol-free zones and right now they're working on the whole. They want people to take an extra 9 hours of training to become pistol-free zone exempt, and that's being fought as well. So there's a lot of different stuff to talk about, not only in Michigan but across the country, as that pertains to pistol-free zones and constitutional carry, as it were.
Yeah, and what's all that really boiled down to? Probably a little bit more money for the extra 9 hours of training. Is that
yeah, I mean, ultimately, I mean, the instructors are probably the ones that are licking their chops, because if somebody's got to take an extra nine hours of training, which is another $100 and something course,
right?
And especially if they don't have to pay an attorney or anything else to come in and sit in through the class like they do for some of the other NRA classes. I don't know. I've never taken a personal protection outside the home or anything along those lines. So, maybe they still have to have an attorney to go over legalese. I don't know. But even still, $100 and something for a class,
Yeah, just to get the exemption for something that really doesn't. Well, we'll save all this conversation for that. Okay, moving on with that. Talk about open carry, the do's and don'ts behind that. Now, I haven't personally done that, but I've seen videos, and I think, Andy, you've done that.
Yeah.
And so we'll talk about that and in better detail there.
Pros and cons, and all
right.
that good stuff. Yeah.
We'll talk about firearms specifically, like handguns. We're talking about more rounds versus a bigger caliber. That's probably a very common debate that people have. So we think that it obviously is worth discussing.
Well, I think I'd like to break that down on almost on a beginner level too. Instead of, I mean, sure, you can get into ballistics, gelatin, and how all this other kind of different stuff, but from a beginner thought process level, or a beginner CPO holder, or a newbie for carrying a firearm, why a smaller caliber with more rounds might suit you versus a larger caliber until you become more accustomed to whatever you're shooting, or what have you, or even environments that you're going into.
Well, and that's a good point, because generally, the bigger the caliber, likely like a 1911. I think they're all, unless they're 9mm versions, but usually they're 45 caliber. And so, if you're doing something like that, and you're God forbid, you're in a heavy battle fight out, that you've only got 7 rounds, and now you're forced to do tactical reloads or just magazine changes in general, and those are things that, unless you're practicing, it can really put you in the line of fire or cause you more damage than if you had, say, 17 rounds of 9mm, let's say, for a Glock or something like that. So, yeah, good discussions coming up. I think our first jointed video that we're going to do together is going to be audio recording and video recording interactions with your police. Maybe as you get pulled over at a traffic stop, or even if you were involved in an accident, specifically if you are a CPL holder, because I've read a lot of different things and a lot of different blogs, and I've seen some videos, and a lot of people brought up a lot of good points, and maybe you didn't see them, so we're going to kind of talk about that and bring that to you.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be police interaction. It could be, a lot of people just carry a recorder on their iPhone or their Google phone just to have in case. You never know when you're going to get into a situation with, you may be in a life or death situation, and where it could actually become beneficial. Or it can either be a beneficial situation to prove that it was a good shoot, or it could be just any sort of law enforcement interaction to make sure that nothing stupid happens. And there's, at the same token, we don't want to sit here and say law enforcement are bad, people are good. We want to cover both sides of the token, and we want to, I've been talking to a few different law enforcement officers to determine why it is they don't want to be recorded and that sort of thing, so that we can actually get both sides of the topic there, and so it's not just a one-side bash fest that cops are bad or something.
Oh, no, we definitely want to be non-biased to either party, just spewing out the facts, this kind of thing. And the other key point to what you said, Andy, or with that specific topic, is you too have you have software that will allow you to do that via your PDAs, or in this generation now, smartphones and all that type of stuff. So that's that's something we're definitely going to want to bring up.
Absolutely, yep.
Going down the list, IDPA and versus the training, what's involved there. Those are kind of fun topics, because I like doing that type of stuff, tactical training and shooting.
Well, yeah, and it comes down to, me being a recently new CPL holder, I was worried about, okay, so do I want to do the training, or do I want to practice IDPA? Well, is it one or the other, or is it both? And what are the benefits behind doing one or the other, or in what process or what steps should you do those? And I talked to a lot of different people and got some feedback as well on that topic as well. So I think that'll be an interesting topic to cover, and to just also hear everybody else's feedback on it too. And if they have done IDPA or other handgun 1, 2, or carbine classes, what they liked about it, or shoot houses or something. So,
right. Okay, we'll talk about everyday carry. We'll talk about some other good. We'll compile a list of good concealed carry websites, firearm-related websites, things like that. We're going to talk about the obligation to ID debate that we have, when you have to tell the officer that you have a CPL, whether you're carrying or not. I know that there's some gray areas and all that, and some people say by law you don't have to tell them you're a CPL holder if you're not carrying. And there's a big debate in that, and I've got my own passion about that, because Well, again, we'll save that for.
Well, and a lot of people are questioning whether, you know, the police officers will typically come up and say, "Hey, can I see your ID?" Well,
Right.
if you're open carrying in the state of Michigan, that's not a reasonable suspicion to a stop. You know, so people are fighting not showing their driver's licenses, and even if they are a CPL holder, if they're open carrying, then they still don't want to show their ID. So, and is that good? Is that bad? You know, are you just causing yourself more grief by not just showing somebody your driver's license? But
and I think some of that is okay, and I agree with stand by your rights and all that. But sometimes, I mean, you can get away and do a lot of different things as long as you're tactful and respectful.
Right.
And go about it that way. Then I've seen videos where people just they're kind of that perpetual stick poking at law enforcement to try to get their goat and to drum up all this drama.
Sure.
And you know, there you go.
And at the same token, there are police officers out there who, you know,
that's true,
do cause issues on occasion, or not necessarily cause issues. You know, you can go look at the Philadelphia police incident with the open carrier, and he starts off by calling a grown man Junior. Hey, Junior. You know, and that's not a very professional way to get somebody's attention and to start a good rapport with them.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and that's that there again, and that kind of goes back to one of our topics 3 or 4 ago, that there's a good reason why you would record. Absolutely. Exactly what you're going on, and that's how we see it on YouTube. Is that somebody was recording something that a cop did. There was that one in Ohio that pulled that CPL driver out of the car and threatened to shoot him in the face and all that crazy stuff.
Right.
We got that only by his patrol car, but just the same. Right. I'm not sure how we're doing on time.
We're at about 12 minutes.
Okay, about 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Do we have time, you think, for maybe we could interphase out and show maybe a Jackass of the Week?
I don't have a Jackass of the Week lined up at the moment.
I guess I'll be the Jackass of the Week.
Jim, Jackass of the Week.
How about that?
We do have a lot of different things that we are planning to incorporate. You know, we want the show to be somewhat interactive. We want people to be able to see what we're talking about. And with that, you know, we've got different tools that we're trying to use, and hopefully you guys can benefit from some of this. Things like our little web browser here, so that when we're actually looking at something, we can show it to you and discuss it at the same time to make it a little bit more interactive for you, instead of looking at, you know, Jim and I and our ugly mugs. You can actually kind of see what the website is, and of course, on every video at the bottom, we're gonna have the you know, the URLs to the content that we're discussing for that video, so that you can actually go out and check it out and form an opinion yourself, and not just use what we feel, you know,
right,
is our opinion in the video.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the live feeding, and I really want to get some other YouTube channels that we can also have linked in together and have a healthy discussion. Pick one of the topics previously mentioned and hammer it out, and have all of our subscribers, you know, can chime in from that channel, from our channel.
Absolutely. Well, there's just so much information out there. There's so many knowledgeable guys out there between the Armory Channel, Lock and Load, Hickok, even, you know, and I'm sure there's a wealth of information from people who don't have a lot of subscribers, that are either attorneys or just gun enthusiasts or what have you, that could be beneficial as well. So if somebody wants to get in on the topic and talk about it, you know, we can have you on. Or if you've got a passion for something, you know, constitutional carry, or you know, campus carrying, something along those lines, let's get you on and let's talk about it. And
exactly.
So,
well, folks, I think we're about out of time. Again, I'm Jim.
And I'm Andy.
Thanks for joining us. Point Blank Armory Channel. We'll see you guys soon.
We'll see you.
Take care.